right, welcome back to Kings of Opinion, episode 18. We got a lot to talk about today, so I'm going to roll right into it. We got Ernie and the Wanderer here from the Wandering Pug Studio. Say hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back, folks. Glad to have you with us.
All right, so I'm going to literally just jump right in here and talk about cabs today.
Cabs.
I know we talked about traffic,
Okay.
so now I'm going to go a little further into it with these cabbies that are probably in every state now, and there's probably thousands of them. But in New York City, it seems like for every one normal person driving, there's like 10 cabs.
Right, and there's different types of cabs too, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Uber, Lyft, regular yellow cabs, green cabs, those rental car, like Rebels and all that other stuff. And it's god awful how they drive. Like,
Yeah, carriages too, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't really go that far down, I guess, through Manhattan to deal with the carriages. Like, I don't go through Central Park. But these cabbies, and it's not just Manhattan, it's probably all over the five boroughs. I know it's definitely here in Queens. But I would think that the city should have like two separate driving tests. If you're going to be a cabbie, you get one driving test, or any kind of like driving service. Like even if you're like a driving service to like an airport,
Right.
And that's all you do, or limousine, or I don't know, any of that kind of stuff. You should have one kind of license,
Right.
and one kind of road test. And then if you're a normal driver, you get the regular driving test that we all get. You know, when you're little, or even when you come over here in the country, wherever you get a road test.
Passenger
Right.
vehicle.
Yeah, but because they not only do they double park everywhere, they just cut through lanes and just to pick people up. They drive slow until like
Park anywhere.
Yeah, they park 100% park anywhere. Like they can park in the middle of an island and and they basically just make traffic worse. Like I guess next year they're gonna be doing that congestion pricing. I think it's like in May.
What's that?
It's basically like anything south of 60th Street, you have to pay to go downtown.
Another paywall. Who would have thought that?
Right. And the whole purpose is to alleviate traffic in Manhattan, like downtown.
Right.
But,
Where it's the most congested.
Right. But apparently you can like come from uptown and not go directly into like midtown and downtown, and I don't think you have to pay it. But like if you're going through like the 59th Street Bridge or any of those south bridges, like you're gonna pay the congestion pricing. So they try to do that for the traffic.
Okay.
But like it's going to obviously just hurt the regular folk.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Right.
Because they might not go into the city, but then they're going to want to take an Uber or a taxi, and they're going to have to pay it. And who do you think ultimately is going to pay that? Right.
Right.
Us.
Yep.
So yeah, it might relieve some of the traffic, but you know what also relieves traffic? Getting rid of like the 100,000 cabs that we have in the city.
That'll do it. Yeah.
Right. Like I don't know. Does anyone else deal with this, or is it just me that deals with these cabs?
Not me.
Okay, apparently it's just me. I hope there's a lot of people out there that deal with this like I do, because it's getting ridiculous. Like, cutting people off, getting into accidents, like Wanderer said, parking wherever the hell they want, double parking. I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah, I feel like if I have to take a ride, I'll just use an Uber because it's like I know what I'm getting into, you know.
But
or Lyft, I guess Lyft is decent
it's the
too.
same thing. And there's probably hundreds of other ones that we're not thinking of right now. But unfortunately, like this is like a real problem.
It's like I need transparency with that, I guess.
Like, and they need to like figure something out with these cabs, because I know there's a taxi and limousine like commission.
Right.
So why don't we get them out there all the time and give these guys tickets and summonses, so maybe they'll actually learn something. They don't always learn, but if you hit them in the pockets a few times a month, maybe they'll learn how to drive better. Because it's like they're the only ones on the road.
Yeah, I guess it's probably not enforced really, and those resources are probably elsewhere. Would be my guess.
Right. I mean, I know they still have those guys.
Right.
So they should be doing something about it.
Like, I mean, I'm me. I completely agree with you. Right. I was just trying to think like of possible scenario, I guess.
No, I get it. I'm just saying something has to be done.
Yeah.
At some point.
Right. It's getting to a boiling point.
Yeah, it's getting crazy out there. Like these guys are it's lawlessness as it is.
Right.
And do we really need cabbies driving around acting like jerks and like just doing whatever they want? Because They don't care about anyone else on the road with themselves.
Mm.
And I'm sure they do it to each other too. Like, it's unbelievable. I don't know. They got to figure something out though. I think the first thing to do is start suspending licenses and start taking away like the downings or whatever it is that they do to get these guys to, you know, change the way they drive. You know, I know there's not as many medallions anymore because yellow cabs are like almost extinct now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's got to be
Yeah, I
some
can't
kind of set
believe
of
I
rules.
can't even think of the last time I saw one.
They're out there, few and far between now because of all the Ubers and Lyfts and whatnot. But I mean, there's got to be something you can do to get these guys to drive better. Whether or not it be a test, a bunch of summonses, you know, suspend licenses after a couple summonses.
Some kind of deterrent is what you're looking
there's gotta be
for.
something you can do for this because it's ridiculous. There's already enough double park cars as there are in the city, in the 5 boroughs as it is, because you have the alternate side, so people double park on the other side, wait for their spots, and like they gotta come down and come up, and they move stuff around. Then you got the cabbies on top of it. There's some streets that they triple park. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, that's.
How could you even do that? Like, if the street's big enough, they triple park. At some point, buses and emergency vehicles can't get through these blocks, or even delivery trucks or whatever, and it just causes even more of a mess.
Yeah, it's bad around here, so I can only imagine what it's like in the city.
Right. When you look at Hillside Avenue, forget about it.
Oh.
Like certain stretches, like it's one lane. Meanwhile, it's a 2-lane street on both sides.
And never any cops around to take care of that.
I guess not. But anyway, I digress with this topic, I guess, for now. So.
End rant.
Yeah, end rant. Over. So we could have had a big weekend this week for the Yankees and or the Mets, even though the Mets are kind of out of it right now.
Right.
They're giving up. So
Floundering.
Right. So we'll talk about the Mets first because I found it interesting that I don't know if it was a few weeks ago, but we touched upon this, that the Mets were doing so bad because their clubhouse was in like disarray.
Yeah, I remember you
probably
mentioning
like
that.
the
Yeah.
Lindor thing with this whole car situation.
Oh right, I forgot about that.
So I'm driving into work today.
Oh
and
no.
They mentioned
Confirmed?
It's not confirmed, but they're like, it's.
Listen, if they're talking about this much, it probably happened.
Yeah, like they talked about it at the beginning of the year a little bit, like during spring training, and then they brought it up again now.
So Lindor Welshing, really, that was the final nail in the coffin, I guess.
Yeah, well, yeah. Apparently, it's a lot. It has more to do with just it's Lindor, right? So apparently, Uncle Stevie takes out Lindor to dinner a lot. So that's like one thing.
That doesn't surprise me.
I heard that as well.
Right. So you have that, and supposedly, and I don't know how true this is because I don't talk to these guys, obviously, but Lindor and Alonso have a thing, and like Alonso's a little quirky and weird or whatever, but there's like I guess some kind of like issues there, and then you also have whatchamacallit, the Lindor McNeil thing.
Right. These back storylines, I guess,
Right.
behind the scenes.
That's still apparently a thing, and I think like I don't know if McNeil is like a free agent this year.
Well, I heard something this morning as well that said we'll know how serious that deal is if McNeil's not back with the team next year.
Yeah, so we're listening to the same thing.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. We're the same thing. So I guess we'll find out in a couple months if that's true or not. But you might have heard it here first. That this was an ongoing issue. And
breaking news.
Yeah, maybe they'll address it down the line. But the Mets played the Braves over the weekend and pretty much got shellacked. I mean, they did salvage the last game yesterday. They won 7-6, but they lost the other 3 games. They had a doubleheader on Saturday, in which they, like you said earlier.
Second game, 3 touchdowns.
Right. The second or the first? I think it was the first game they scored 2 touchdowns.
Oh, was it? It could have been the first.
Yeah.
Just because it took so long
So
with
I
all
heard
the
something that it was
bludgeoning.
21-3. That was one game.
Yeah.
I thought it was both games.
No,
together.
No,
game.
that was the first game because the second game the Mets lost 6-0.
Wow.
So yeah, they got beat up by the Braves this weekend, and now the Yankees roll into town to face the Braves, and I'm hoping we could get lucky, but it doesn't look good. They're on right now. It's a tie game 1-1. It's only in the first.
Riley home run
Yeah.
a couple pitches ago.
Right, and the Yankees, scrounged up a run in the first with the fielder's choice or whatever, and
Giving her right back in the bottom of the
right. I mean, we got to give Clark Schmidt a little bit of a break because he's been one of our most consistent pitchers besides Cole. But over the weekend, they win the first one against the Marlins. They lose the second one. They're winning the third one 7-2 in the eighth. The Marlins wind up scratching a run in the eighth, and then the Marlins come all the way back in the ninth of Clay Holmes and win the game 8-7. And I think right then and there I was done with the Yankees yesterday. I was like, they had a chance because it would have been good. They're on the road. The Marlins are not an easy team to beat anymore. And the Mets always had trouble with the Marlins anyway.
When it's 7-2?
7-2 in the eighth.
Yeah, can't lose that.
No, and there was a couple mistakes by Booney, and I don't know. It's tough because you have your closer Clay Holmes, and he's been really good this year. Like last year, he was good in the first half, and then he took a nosedive in the second half. But he's been pretty consistent the whole year. He hasn't given up I think it was a run in 30 appearances or something like that.
Oh.
So he's been pretty good, right? But if you see the guy struggling, get him through the three batters. You have a 4-run lead, and bring someone fresh in. And I think it was the tying runs were on base. It was first and third. I forgot who stole second, but they took the double play out. We only had one out. They took the double play out. And then they proceed to pitch to this guy, Berger, who's been killing the Yankees.
Yes, I heard that.
And I'm like, walk the guy because ultimately you're only up 2 runs at this point. I think it was 7-5. It might have been 7-6, but I'm pretty sure it was 7-5. And load the bases so that you could get the double play. Once the guy steals second, the double play's out of sight. So what do you think? You're just gonna get Berger to sacrifice fly or strike out? I mean, there's a good chance of it, but that's if you have if Holmes is on the money. He wasn't on the money, so you got to think maybe there's gonna be a sacrifice fly or a ground out to score a run. Now you got a runner in third, 2 outs. Set up your double play so you can just get out of the game.
Yeah.
Because that run ultimately, it might not matter. It could. That's the winning run, but he's got to go first to home, which is more unlikely than it is to get a double play. Or even if you get a sacrifice fly, then it might be first and second or first and third, and you only got one more out. There's no loss in that, I feel, right? So that was the first mistake of not walking him. And then you probably should have just taken him out after that. Load the bases. He's already passed his 3 batters. If not before then, load it now, bring somebody else in, and hope you can get a strikeout or a double play or 2 strikeouts or whatever, make it 2 outs and win the game. The Yankees lose that. That's the first time they lost in the ninth, being up 4 runs in so long. I think there was a stat. I thought they said 2011.
Wow.
I'd be shocked if it was that long, but even still, if I remember correctly, I think that's what they said. I could be wrong, but to me, that's crazy.
And yeah, I mean, definitely, it's a long period of time. And the other thing was, I guess they're having some starters down because I saw King started the other day.
Yeah, I think that was on Saturday.
Yeah. Because
Cole pitched yesterday.
Nasty Nestor's out again.
Oh,
right?
Nestor Cortez is out. Okay.
Yep. He literally pitched 5 innings or 4 innings, 5 innings, and now he's out hurt again with some sore or rotator cuff or strained rotator cuff. So he's probably done for the season.
Wow.
Too. Rodon was already out, but supposedly he threw a session. He's on his way back. But let's be honest, he sucks. Who cares if he comes back? Almost check in next year with him and see if he can do better next year.
That's the thing at this point, with the way things are going, and the fact that you have him for another 5 seasons, you might as well just rest them up and let them get healthy for sure, and see what happens next year.
Yeah, because the Yankees had a really nice they had a really nice chance of having a really good starting rotation, and they did for a while in the beginning of the year, even up until
Before
July.
the injuries.
Yeah, even with the injuries, they still were, as a whole, their whole pitching, the bullpen and the
Intact,
starters were intact, and they were pitching really well. But when you get to August and even September, the bullpen's going to be taxed, and they're going to start giving up stuff. So now you have to get the starters to come around and give you more innings, and we're just not able to do it because so many guys are hurt. The actual legit starters running into the season, they're all gone. Everyone but Cole, gone. You know, even Severino, like he's here, but he was hurt. Now he's back. He sucks. Like he literally said it himself. He's the worst baseball player this year, the worst pitcher. So it's like, okay, great. And it doesn't help that the Yankees still don't know how to hit. Like once a week they'll score more than 5 runs. So if guys don't pitch, we're gonna wind up losing. So
basically, thank God football's starting soon.
correct. Yes. Thank God football is starting in what, a couple weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Right around the corner.
Yeah. And yeah, right now the Yankees are 5 back of the last wild card spot, and they have 2 teams in front of them besides Toronto, Seattle, and Boston. So not looking good. They'd have to go on some kind of a run here, which could start tonight if the Yankees could beat Atlanta. Not impossible. They've played 500 ball for a couple weeks now, from what I was hearing on the radio. So I guess we'll see. But not looking good.
Speaking of football, did you watch Hard Knocks yet?
I did.
Oh,
transition.
Is it one episode or?
One episode. Yeah. It was last Tuesday.
I know you popped your cherry with this season of Hard Knocks because you said you never watched it. So what did you think?
So yeah, it's amazing. I don't know if it's because it's just me being a Jet fan, but I'll tell you what I didn't know about this. Liev Schreiber is like the narrator.
Yeah. So.
That's right.
I'm not sure how many seasons it is now because he. I could be wrong, but I do not think he's been the narrator since the beginning of the show. But he has been for at least a couple of seasons now, and he's good. He's good. He's got the voice for it, and honestly, if he's not the one that's done it from the beginning, his voice is very similar to. What I like is his voice is very similar to that, and I don't know the gentleman's name, but it's the original guy who did all the narrating for NFL.
Oh, I know the guy you're talking about. Yeah.
His voice is very similar, so it's cool.
Are you talking about the guy that always does all the NFL things?
Yeah.
Talks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about too. I even listening to it after I knew it, I still couldn't tell it was him.
Right.
Like it's almost like he changes his voice for the show.
Yeah. And actually, there's a point in this episode where he says he made a comment about his mom watches the show and doesn't believe it's him narrating.
Yeah. I had no idea. And Aaron Rodgers calls him like the voice of God or something like that, or something like that, because it was like they didn't know.
There we go, another run.
Yep.
Oh!
So IKF gets a double, or sort of gets a single and gets thrown out, but the run apparently scored or didn't score.
Yes, it did.
But it didn't put it up. There you go. They put it up. So now the Yankees winning 2-1 in the second. We're going to the bottom of the second. Let's see. He might be safe. Come on.
Is it John Facenda?
He touched the thing.
Yeah, John.
John Facenda.
Yes, that's it.
So yeah. So
you liked it?
I loved. I was going to get into it when we started talking football, but it was great. Great that you mentioned it. I liked it. I've never saw it before, and it was awesome to see like different interviews and different aspects of the practices, and then you saw them in the preseason game at the end. It was really cool, and people are talking and like they're talking shit to each other on the sidelines, and they're like, "Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that." Yeah, Aaron Rodgers had like the headset in to like basically he was picking up on stuff in the game for Zach Wilson, which I thought was really cool. It was like, "Yo, you're gonna have to scramble," and then I think he doesn't scramble and he gets sacked or something like that, or he's like, "Yo, you got to hit this guy." I forget what the guy's name was, but he's basically telling him to hit a certain wide receiver, and he hears him, I guess, and he throws it to him. The guy runs for a touchdown. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's a really well done show. I've all these years I've always enjoyed it. I think it's really neat, and for fans like us, you get a nice little inside perspective of what it's like,
For sure, and I feel like HBO, productions in general are just a cut above, especially the sports.
Yeah.
And I used to say to my friends, like, for the boxing lead ups that they do, I forget what it's called, 24/7 or whatever it's called.
Right.
They can make a fight between us look amazing.
Right.
You know.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Let me ask you this, like, because you're a Dallas Cowboy fan and you've watched a lot of them. Do they pretty much do it the same way every year like this?
Yeah.
There's nothing that they change
No.
throughout the year?
The only thing that I heard is going to be different starting this year is that they're not going to show guys actually getting cut. I don't know now if that's a this season thing, and that was a decision made by the Jets because they don't want to do it, or if it's something that
On the production side, yeah.
is choosing to do. But they said that they're not going to show guys getting cut.
No.
But the show is just, I think it's really neat, and it's nice because you get that just listening to the media and everything. Of course, they're gonna make everything so dramatic, and you would think like
Right.
Wilson
They sensationalize it.
is just demoralized, and now he went from the #2 pick to being a bench warmer, this and that. And meanwhile, you see a new guy like Aaron Rodgers come in, and it seems like just from this one episode, they have a great relationship, and he's really taking to him well, and it's neat. It's neat.
You think any of that stuff is fake? Or like overacted or something like that for these guys?
I'm sure they have to, so to speak, put on a bit of a show because they know they're being filmed and it's going to be televised. So do they want to be complete douches if that's what they are? Of course not. But I mean, I think you can tell.
Yeah.
For the most part, if
I agree.
Genuine or complete bullshit.
You can read it.
Yeah. And this first episode is neat because think about it. They've been filming for a few weeks now, right? So this is like 3 weeks worth of
The
stuff
footage.
wrapped up into 1 hour. Whereas now each episode is going to be just 1 week worth of film. So it really gets.
So you think there'll be more content now, or
it's going to be more.
Not as much to choose from.
Time,
yeah.
You're going to see what's happening in that week. Right.
That's cool. I'm excited for this for tomorrow.
Was Rodgers in it a lot, or?
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah.
He was the main focus.
Oh,
and
cool.
you can tell that's why I asked him if some of this is like not scripted, so to speak, but like a little overdone because like he was all in the episode, and everyone was like, yeah. They were talking all good about him, which I guess you would
like
do.
God had arrived.
Right, yeah, like.
Well, I mean, hey, listen, we never have a quarterback.
It's like we don't have sliced bread, now we do. Like,
I mean, it's kind of the transformation,
was,
right?
Like, playing the game, and he's like, "Yeah, smile for the camera, coach. You gotta give him a little something. Give him a little something." And,
he's having fun with it.
Yeah, he looks like he's having a good time with it. Good for him. Like, this is like the time of the year where you should be having a lot of fun because once September hits and it's game time, like you lose week 1. Which could easily happen because you're playing the Bills and they're no easy team.
Right.
Like you're gonna have to start answering to the New York media, like why'd you lose or why'd you throw that interception on 3rd and 10 and or whatever? Why'd you fumble that ball? Why didn't you scramble? It's gonna be all on him, and I think he's old enough and smart enough to realize that. So to him, and I don't correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if Green Bay ever had a hard knocks with him on this. I don't know if this is like a second time for him or what. I wouldn't think so because they normally pick losing teams and they're more normally like winning. So I don't think he was ever on it. But I'm glad he's having fun right now. I'm glad they're all having fun because these things should be fun. They should be relaxed. You get extra exposure for whatever brands they want to promote. And they really didn't do that this episode, which was cool too, but I'm sure they will in a couple in the rest or whenever they get a chance to, which I'm fine with. But
and the other aspect they pick up on is like when they talk about with Hackett, right? They were saying how they felt like, before all this happened and he signed with them, they, were automatically saying that the Jets were going to have a good shot at signing him because they signed Hackett. And you see where that really does come to play, and it does have a lot to do with it because you can see right off the bat the relationship that Rodgers and Hackett have is actually something, pretty special. So it does play a big role in it,
they're like really friends. Like we went to bat with him on that whole Sean Payton comment. he said it wasn't cool what Sean Payton did, and he's going to protect his coach and all that other stuff. But you're right. You could easily tell that those guys have a really close connection.
And it's definitely, at least in my opinion, it shows me that it's a major factor in why he signed with the Jets.
Right.
And just the other thing I was going to say about Rodgers is maybe that's how he, he's having fun because that's how he deals with the circus that is the New York media.
Yeah, and then it also gives you a little bit of that human factor too.
Right, of course.
Just all stuffed up prima donnas making millions of dollars, and
we forget. You forget sometimes.
Right, they're
we all bleed.
People, they just have a God-given talent, but
right.
they're regular guys just like us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's be real. Like they're all normal people and all that, but Aaron Rodgers is no stranger to the media anyway. When he's playing with Green Bay, they're making the playoffs every year. He's all over TV anyway. Like football is one of those sports where if you're great in any market, they're gonna be talking to you all the time anyway. It's not like baseball where if you play for the Kansas City Royals, you might talk to somebody once a week over there. Like you're not in the spotlight unless you're on ESPN
right.
on the Wednesday or Sunday night game or Monday night game, what have you. Here it's every week. So I mean, as far as the media is concerned, unless he doesn't say something really stupid, like he's gonna be fine. Like just don't say anything stupid. Rodgers, if you ever see this show, don't say anything stupid.
I just like the human aspect of it.
I love it.
You just see that
peels back lifts the curtain, I guess. Right.
With the Cowboys, like I remember a few seasons ago when they were on it, how Dak Prescott and Zeke Elliott are best friends. They're literally best friends, and they showed like in one of the episodes how it was Dak Prescott's birthday, and Zeke Elliott shows up at his apartment and has all these gifts for him, and like they're regular people like us,
Right.
And they,
That's
so
awesome.
think about it, that how does that affect a guy like Dak Prescott? That now that Zeke, who's his best friend, is no longer on the team,
right?
So
that's who's been with him the whole time too,
right.
Yeah.
Side note: do you know where he's possibly signing? Because he said it on Instagram today or Twitter or whatever.
Oh, really? No, I didn't hear about it.
He said he's probably signing with the Patriots.
I think that makes sense. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Why does that make sense? They have 2 running backs already, so why would they need a third? Unless they just sign him for cheap.
They always make. I feel like whoever they acquire, they'll make room for them
to me,
somehow.
Zeke doesn't fit that mold for the Patriots, but I guess if he's looking for a job and you had to pick somewhere, like you can't really do much work.
Well, I
can't
think
do
he
much
does
better.
fit. I think he does fit because
Who else do they have?
first of all,
Stevenson, I think, or Ramon Stevenson.
yeah, but Belichick's never really worried about it. It seems like having a big time running back, and it's not like these guys are going to carry the ball 30 times a game anymore anyway.
Right.
So he's perfect.
I just think with his personality, like I don't know if he fit the scheme of Belichick. Like Belichick doesn't like those kind of personalities. He wants like team first kind of guys. Like I don't really see, and I don't know Ezekiel.
See that's the other. That's like another aspect of the show that
Right.
you get to see these guys. So like you would think, like the way his uniform is always done up, and the way you would think he's not. But going back to a couple seasons ago when they were on, he's
regular guy.
Seems like he's such a chill guy, and he's all about his teammates and stuff. So
That's great.
yeah, that's what I like. We keep saying the same thing, but it's that human element that we miss out.
Well, it's missing in a lot of places in today. So
Yeah.
we crave it, I guess.
I mean, it's always good to see that aspect of sports because you always see a lot of the negatives always
Right,
come out.
like anything else, right? They're never going to tell you the good stuff. They're just going to tell you the negative stuff that's going to get used and sell papers or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's all the writers want to do. They want to stir up stuff, That's easier to do than tell a good heartwarming story a lot of the time.
Right.
So, but yeah, I'm excited tomorrow night. What time is it that show come on? Is it on regular HBO and then it goes to Max or is
regular
it on
HBO?
Time?
No, it's 10 o'clock.
But does it come on the streaming app?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I literally saw it Saturday night. I was sitting down. I was like, I have to watch this before the show.
Yeah,
like, I
I
have to talk about it.
I watched it Tuesday night on HBO Max.
Okay, good. So I'm going to watch that tomorrow at 10 o'clock, and then we'll get to talk about it next week. Hopefully, it's another good show. I'm excited about it. I'm glad the Jets actually did it. I know they're not excited about it, and like it's like a distraction, I guess. But to me, it seems like they stay out of the way for the most part. We might have to do an extra interview or two, but these guys are doing interviews all day long anyway after practice. So what's really the big deal?
Right.
You're talking to the New York media every day. They want to know something. Like I'm driving home and not Dable, the GM for the Giants, was it Shane something? Joe Shane?
Yeah.
He was on talking to the guys on the fan. So, and it was like literally my whole way home. But, you know, that's all they do all week, like a lot of these guys, especially if you're popular.
And listen, for the handful of veterans that might have been around for a while already and might be a pain and a nuisance and a distraction for them. Think about all the young guys and the guys just coming up who've never done anything like that. For them, it's exciting, right?
Of course.
You know, think about it. It's the same thing as being a business guy and going on business trips. Yeah, the first couple of years of going away on business trips, it's fun and it's a good time. And then after a few years, you're like, fuck, I don't want to do this anymore. Who the hell wants to have to go away on business and deal with all that?
Of course, you're 100% right. But yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to do an interview when you're a rookie or even a second year? Just the fact that you're asked to do an interview means you're doing something right. Usually, you're not like some bum on the practice squad or whatever. And those guys are still really good at what they do too. You know, they're no slubs on the practice squad. But yeah, it's got to be all that stuff has got to be exciting. I don't see how it's a negative for the most part. And as a Jet fan, and for the Jets, like you should be excited for this year. Whatever we get all this year, we've never really gotten anyway. So why not just enjoy the ride? Because even if we don't make the playoffs, or do make the playoffs and lose in the first round, or lose in the Super Bowl, whatever, or win, like enjoy this whole ride. We very rarely get it.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? Like the last times we got it was the Sanchez era with Rex Ryan, and we just made it one game short of the Super Bowl back-to-back years, and that's it. And I think that was what 2010, 2011. So it's been a while. So I would just sit back, enjoy every Sunday's game. Hopefully they win a bunch of them, make it into the playoffs, and then it's a flip of a coin after that. You could win, you could lose. Hopefully our guys show up and do what we got to do, and that's it. Anyone else want to talk some football or on the subject, like anything with the Dallas Cowboys and anything else?
I haven't really looked at anything.
That's good. We're getting ready for football, and you guys haven't really followed anything for football.
Listen, when the season's here, I'll be ready to go.
I don't know about you, Wander. All right? We're start doing it now. It's preseason. Let's go.
What's the rush?
We're in week 2. Come on. Maybe week 3. Are we in week 3? No, we're in week 2 because the Jets have the Hall of Fame game. That's the first game I want to play. And then they just have another one. So
week 3 will be this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. So, exciting stuff. Let's see what else we got here. Did you guys hear about the Tampa Bay Rays shortstop yet?
No.
No?
I started hearing about it today. I know that they put him on some kind of reserve list and he's not playing for the time being. They're looking into some old posts that he had apparently.
Is it old, or is it like
I
beginning of this year?
I didn't hear many details about it. Just that they put him on a reserve list where he's not going to be playing, and they're doing an investigation.
So that reserve, he's on like the restricted or reserve list?
Restricted, right? That's the word.
They both agreed to do it the other day. I don't remember which day it was over the weekend, but there were like social media reports.
This is Wander Franco, right?
Correct. The shortstop for the Rays. That he was, he's got social media postings with an underage, female.
Oh boy.
And the MLB is now investigating, and Tampa Bay is just letting them do their thing, and they put them on the restricted list for now. Like I said, it was mutually agreed upon. He left midway through that game when all this came out, and it's been all over social media. And I don't know if it's going to end anytime soon, but they're missing a huge piece of their team right now because he was their up and coming shortstop. He's been on fire since he's been coming up. He's been lights out. So this is definitely going to hurt the team for sure. I don't know.
Was he on the Phillies too?
No, I think they got him in like some kind of a trade.
Who's that?
Wander Franco.
No. Wander Franco he's homegrown.
Is he? You sure?
Yeah.
So, because remember, the Rays trade their pitchers all the time for talent. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was traded for, and then they brought him. Then they did their thing with him, and they brought him up. Because normally they have a ton of pitchers in their minor leagues. But we'll keep moving. You let us know if you find anything with that. But yeah, just getting that out there to you guys. That's a crazy little story, a little tidbit over this weekend. As of right now, we're only in the bottom of the second. Yankees are now losing again, 4-2. 2 outs, second, third for Atlanta. So yeah, I guess now we're gonna move over to.
Yeah, he's always been.
He was always with them.
Yeah.
All right, so I wonder if it was homegrown. We'll move on to movies and TV.
Did you see any films?
I did.
What'd you see?
I saw the Meg 2.
How was that?
So let's keep in mind that the first movie.
You went to the cinema for this?
Yeah, it was wild. Only because it's like a megalodon, a giant shark, prehistoric shark, and whatever. The second movie had really, an all over the place story. But what do you expect? It's almost like at this point you're throwing out like a new Transformers movies. You're not really going there to see a story.
Right. I mean, the first one didn't it premiere on like Sci-Fi or one of those networks?
No, it was in the movie theater.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you're thinking about like Sharknado.
Or that's probably
like Demon Shark.
Sharknado.
Sci-fi shark movies that are like really cheaply done.
Sorry.
But the fact that they came out with a sequel means they must have made some decent money
for
the first one for this to happen. But like, if you get past like the story, which like I said isn't terrible. Like you could throw any kind of story at me for a shark movie, and I want to go see it. Action.
And I don't think Megan Fox is going to be winning any Oscars or anything like that, right?
No. She wasn't in this.
No.
No.
That's the Expendables. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm getting my trailers confused.
You got to make sure you stick with each trailers and who's.
Well, it's like it is Statham's in all of them, so I get confused.
I can't believe they're making another one of those movies.
That guy's getting checks everywhere. Good for him.
Mm-hmm. But it's hilarious. But yeah, the Meg, if you just went for the action, it was great. Like they're fighting sharks and a giant octopus. They have these weird other little like half lizard, half fish kind of like.
Okay. Amphibians.
It's like half dinosaur, half fish kind of like.
Right.
Animals that like swim in the water but also go on
like
land.
a plesiosaur or something like that.
Who knows what the hell it is? But it was fun. It was fun. I'll tell you this. There was enough action where like the movie kind of went fast, and then you're out and you do your thing.
Cool.
It was what it was, and then that's it, right? So,
runtime 90 or
a little bit longer. I think it was just
2 hours.
Under 2 hours.
Yeah, I feel like standard is like 2 hours.
Yeah, nowadays they make the 2 hour movie. Like if you see an hour and a half movie, you're probably lucky.
Right on.
Nowadays, but that's what I saw.
Nice.
Did you see anything?
I didn't see any films that I can recall, but I did started a new show / I think it's like a 3-part documentary on HBO. It's called Telemarketers. It premiered last night. It's about, I guess the inside of this telemarketing, boiler room and I watched a decent amount of the first episode and it had my interest the whole time. It's just cool seeing, how it was run from the inside, the intimate look at it. And yeah, man, I found it highly entertaining and I'm looking forward to the next episodes too.
Do we know how many episodes it's gonna be?
I think it's a 3-part, maybe like an hour each, I believe.
Oh, really? So it's just a short, like, little.
What do they call that? Yeah, docu-series mini-series.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's good. I think you guys will dig it. Yeah, check it.
What's it called again?
Telemarketers. It's on HBO.
Oh, another one on HBO.
They're like turning out shows left and right.
Yeah, all these guys are. I just started watching on, I think it's Paramount Plus, Lioness.
What's
Oh,
that?
you watching that?
Yeah,
What's that?
it's Zoe Saldana.
Ooh, big fan.
And it's, another one of these secret op.
Kind of like Silo
TV
and
things, yeah, but
what's the other one?
It's so far so good.
Citadel?
So far so good.
Yeah. How many episodes in are you?
4.
Cool.
They're hour long, so they're good. They have a lot of content.
And it comes out week to week, so you gotta wait.
That I'm not sure because I think it's been around since maybe sometime last month. So it looks like there's a bunch of episodes out there already.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll check that. She's it's what was that movie that's I guess a similar premise, Colombiana, I think it was called.
Yeah. Well, I think she was more like an assassin in that one.
Right. I just meant like action
Right.
film as opposed
Yeah, I
to
mean this one is not. At least so far, it's not like a lot of action. It's more just the storyline.
It's more like a chess match kind of show, right? I feel like or something.
Kind of, sort of. I mean, there's a couple of
more dialogue. Yeah.
There's a couple of different storylines going on at the same time. Like it's her ops and what they're going through, and then also her family life tied into it.
I see.
So it's good. It's
cool.
It's entertaining.
Nice.
I started watching the last season of Jack Ryan.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully by next week
You'll have an update.
I'll have like the total wrap on the show. But I love.
That's like one of your favorites, yeah.
It makes you think like that guy is so swift. Like I think it's off of books, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And then they made like movies, and then they just TV shows.
Tom Clancy, if I'm correct.
Right, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. But like the way this guy Jack Ryan thinks, and it's always like this is the ultimate chess game.
I've never watched it.
Bro, it's like he's always like a couple steps ahead of everybody. Every once in a while he gets duped and he gets himself into trouble, which I feel like for the show purposes you kind of have to. Otherwise it wouldn't be as good.
My thing is, it's like, I don't know, I have a hard time starting up or getting into a show like that when the actor is so well known for one thing, obviously him with The Office. It's like, how do I watch a show like that and take him serious now, but
you gotta watch it. I gotta tell you that right now. I mean, I never really saw The Office much. Like I saw like an episode here or there. So I get what you're saying because he's a totally different character in that. But that show is totally different anyway. But in this, he's like, and it's funny too because I saw him in like, I guess other either like TV shows or movies before Jack Ryan. I'm like, yo, how's this guy gonna be Jack Ryan? He's not really a serious actor. The minute I was watching season 1, I'm like, this guy's great.
Sold, yeah.
Yeah, like after a couple episodes, I'm like, wow.
If he's good, he's good, right?
It's
But for me, like, I'd much rather watch one of Kiefer Sutherland's shows because that's all he ever does, right?
Right.
It's kind of like,
Did you watch that yet? I talked about it a few weeks ago. Rabbit Hole? You watched that yet?
Yeah, I saw Rabbit Hole. I saw Rabbit Hole a while ago. That was very good. Very good.
I saw.
It'd be like watching Jerry Seinfeld do Jack Ryan. It wouldn't draw me to it at all.
I saw another commercial for Winning Time, so that's got to be soon.
It started yesterday.
Oh, even better.
No, it started last week.
So it's two episodes
so it should be 2 episodes now. What?
I don't know what day of the week.
Oh, maybe it's on Monday.
It might be Sunday nights as well.
Okay.
So there should be 2 episodes because I literally, when I was watching Hard Knocks, I saw Winning Time's new season. So I went in there thinking I missed a couple episodes because I want to binge watch that like I did the first season. I don't want to go week to week with all these. And most of these shows nowadays, like I have such a long list from you guys and other people like watch this, watch this, watch this. Like I literally just pick them. And like the only priority that I give a TV show is if it's like a second or third
Readily
season,
available, yeah.
Not even that. Like I'll wait. So like I didn't watch Rabbit Hole right away because I wanted the whole season of Popeye.
Right.
And I wanted to watch it all at once. So now same thing that happened with Jack Ryan. It came out a couple of weeks ago. They only had 6 episodes. So I was like, I'll wait till the 6 episodes complete. I'll watch that. And then I'll go from there. Same thing with Winning Times. Like I just want to like get through the whole season because I don't want to wait week for week, because then I'm bouncing around from show to show to show.
Right.
And then not that I'll get confused, but I'm watching too many shows, and then you'll forget certain things.
Yeah.
You like to digest it as fast as possible.
Yeah, like I'll be done with Jack Ryan by the end of this week, and I'll be like, okay, great, this show's over, this season's over,
Right.
whatever. And I'll move on to the next show that has a complete season in the books, and then I'll watch that. Like another show HBO has, The Warrior or Warriors.
Oh yeah, the martial art one.
Yeah, but it's like back in the day.
Yeah,
like,
San Francisco.
San Francisco. Like,
yeah.
Like the gold
That's a
rush
good
era.
show. Yeah, it's a good show, man. The hand to hand is nice.
Oh, really? You watched it?
Yeah, I've seen the whole thing.
Bro, it's amazing.
It's 2 seasons, right?
There's a third.
Wait, when did it came out?
It came out like a couple weeks ago. I'm literally waiting for that to pop out. That's like the next show.
Fill up. Oh, awesome! I'll have to check that too.
Yeah, like I gotta find it.
Yeah, it's like a western type of,
really?
about San Francisco back in the early times of the settlers and stuff.
All right.
Yeah, it was cool.
It's really good. But it like pins the Irish against the Chinese, and then like everybody else that's in between, that's just living there. Like the Irish are looking for jobs. The Chinese are taking them because they're cheaper. The Irish are pissed off that they're taking them. The Chinese are also involved in like drugs and all this other stuff. And like the Chinese are like more mafia, and the Irish, not to say that they're not mafia kind of based, but they're like more like just like a union, I would say. They're almost like you trying to unionize or already in, and they're all trying to stick together, and all they want is work. But like the businessmen are like choosing the Chinese because they're not union. They don't want to get paid. They'll take whatever pay. And then you have the mafia aspect of the Chinese, like trying to regulate and steal and do this and bring the drugs in and all that other stuff. And then just they're at like war secretly with each other.
Check it out.
It's wild. But I'm trying to see. No. Oh, here we go. Maybe this is it. No. I'll find it later. But
I did watch the Oscar De La Hoya documentary.
Oh yeah, what's that on?
I believe it's HBO as well.
Okay. How is that?
It's a two-part. It's just a quick two-part documentary. I mean, honestly, my first take on it is I'm surprised that he did it because it doesn't
paint him in a good light.
Right. It does.
Well, what do they say about him?
Maybe he needs the money. I don't know.
It's him doing it, so he's saying it basically about himself, which is the most surprising part of it all. But basically, like he was pretty much a dirtbag, He once he won.
The success went to his head.
And he went pro and he started winning fights and he really started to get famous. He was just like, he had 3 women pregnant at the same time.
Wow.
And
did they know about each other and they didn't care?
They all found out, not that they didn't care, but then the fact of the matter is, so these 3 kids are all the same age, and he essentially they say that he took care of them financially, obviously, but had really
nothing to do with them.
Part of their lives.
Yeah.
Wow.
For like the first 6. Well, because he was just a dirtbag. He was all about himself, and the fact that like they really didn't touch upon drug use, but
yeah, that was definitely a part of
the
it.
The fact that he was an alcoholic.
Like he was partying and just drinking all the time.
He was an
alcoholic. If he wasn't drinking, he was training, and he had no time for nobody but himself.
And then they touched upon, I don't know if you remember years ago when that whole scandal came out with the photos.
Oh yeah, with the woman's dress. Yeah, of course. I think there's a few of those.
Yeah, so that was basically he was married. He met at the Grammys or met like for a commercial this Puerto Rican singer who was very famous at the time, and they just like real quickly got together, got married, and his that time girlfriend, who was I think still pregnant at the time if I remember right, was watching the Grammys and saw him on the red carpet with this chick holding hands and taking photos.
Oh man!
And then basically, like the next day,
Oh, man.
they're in the car together, and he's like,
that same chick that he took to the Grammys.
No, the other
the
one.
pregnant one.
Yeah, he's like, we're not together. I don't love you, and pretty much walked out of the car, knocked on the window, and he said, go fuck yourself. I don't love you.
Wow.
And really, really, like I said, I'm surprised he did it. And it's like no matter how successful he was, because he fought very late in life, right?
Yeah.
Like he took a lot of time off, but he could come back and fight.
Yeah.
And his last few fights, were not that good.
No.
That's when he retired. But all throughout that time, he started Golden Boy
Productions.
and was very successful and did well. And he was still fucking up all the time. Like he couldn't get out of his own
way. Yeah, that's the thing. Like people look at it as like, oh, everyone's against me. No, it's really you versus you at the end of the day. And it seems like he was losing that battle for a long time.
I guess so. So in the last few minutes, the Yankees are now losing 7-2 in the bottom of the third. So that's fantastic. Yeah. Well, we knew what we had here. We knew it wasn't going to be easy, and it's not. So, whatever. Is anyone excited about any other movies coming out towards the end of this summer? I know they got Blue Beetle coming out.
Not that I can think of.
Yeah,
I'm not really hype about that one.
No, like I'm not trying to waste my money on that. So, and I have that AMC pass where I can go see it for free. So you know what that means.
Yeah, right.
But, and another movie I'm really not excited about is on the other side of the fence, because that's DC, is the Marvel movie, Miss Marvels. I don't know when that comes out either, but that's another movie I'm not going to see for free. So,
yeah, nothing really that I could think of off top.
What about you said the Expendables? When's that come out?
I'm sure it's coming out at some point.
You know what's coming out? I don't need to cut you off.
Yeah.
But the Disney Plus Ashoka Tani series with Rosario Dawson.
Oh, cool.
Any interest in that? Do you like Star Wars?
Yeah, I'll check that. Sure.
I do, but I'm honestly I'm not a big Rosario Dawson fan.
Why?
One, who she's, I don't know if they're married or engaged or what. But that's a story for another day. We don't want to get into politics and stuff.
No, we don't. Who's she married to or dating? Who's the person?
The guy from I don't know, is he the governor of Jersey or the senator in Jersey?
Chris Christie?
No. Give me 2 seconds.
All right. Well, I want to see that show because we've been seeing all those shows anyway.
Right.
What was it? The Obi-Wan, the Boba Fett,
Clone Wars,
the Clone Wars, all that stuff. It's all good stuff for the most part. I mean, does it have some lulls in it? Could some things be fixed? Absolutely.
It's great for the young female fans too. You know?
Of course. Well, she's an important character if you think about it.
Right.
Like,
very.
If you go off the Clone Wars and all that's canon, right? So like,
yeah.
She wasn't in the original Star Wars and stuff, but like in the cartoon, she was huge. Like, she was training.
It's her and Anakin, yeah.
Yeah, she was training with Darth Vader basically. Before he was.
Yeah.
And then she disappears, like, because I don't know if she realized that was happening, but there were certain things she didn't agree with, and she left, and I don't know, like the parts we saw about her in the live action. I think she was in The Mandalorian towards the end of. I don't know if it was the second season or third season of Mando when she was.
Oh right.
She was training with.
Was that season 2?
Grogu.
I think it's season 2 because I haven't seen season 3.
Yeah, like supposedly Luke takes him right in season 2, so then I think they were training.
Oh right, that's
Mando
the
comes
end.
back from
That's the end.
right?
Yeah.
In the third season, so he sees her. You see her a little bit in season 3 too, but then she has her own path and her own story, so that should be cool.
Oh, so I have to take that back. She was with Cory Booker.
Oh, he's the mayor of New Jersey, I think.
Right. So.
How are you the mayor of New Jersey?
Or the governor?
He's got to be like the governor or senator of New Jersey, unless he's the mayor of a town.
The governor, I guess. Sorry.
He's a U.S. senator.
There you Wow, so she was dating a senator?
Yeah.
That means there's hope for us.
So she was very.
So you're saying there's a
Right.
chance?
What's the chance? 1 in a million?
But apparently she has a new boyfriend. So.
Oh well. Well, boyfriend is I'm not worried about. There's always times to change. You know, it's when they're married. Is a problem.
Rosario, if you're watching, I think my man Ryan saying what? How are
Big
you?
fan. That's all I'm gonna say. Big fan. I watch your work. You're a great actor.
Actress.
Especially what? Yeah, actress. Especially what was she in Marvel? She was something in Marvel recently.
Was
Was
she?
it Daredevil?
Was she?
Yeah, like the Netflix Daredevil.
Don't recall.
Was she?
I want to say yes.
I think she was good in. The only thing I ever.
Or was it
liked her-
Iron Fist? No, it wasn't Iron Fist.
The only thing I
Was it
liked her in
Chinese?
is what was the movie she did with
Colin Farrell.
no Will Ferrell, Will Farrell, the other guys with
Oh.
Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, the other guys. Yeah,
She
good
wasn't
film.
in that movie.
Yes, she was.
No, that was Eva Mendes. Oh boy, guys. All right.
The 12th, was it the 12th hour? The
Yeah,
Spike
here we
Lee
go.
film?
He's
Is
like
that what
thinking
it's
of
called?
wrong people.
That's all right.
Hold on. I got
Go ahead. Go
It
ahead.
happens.
We got.
Yes, you're right.
I know.
It's
Thank
all right.
you.
Eva Mendes, I like.
Correction. Yeah. Well, Eva Mendes is.
Listen,
great,
they're
too.
both lovely girls.
Yeah, they're all.
Or
great.
lovely women. Sorry,
Right.
excuse me.
No, she was. I gotta find out, but find out. Rosario Dawson. She was in Daredevil. She was in one of those Netflix, Marvel shows. It wasn't. Luke Cage?
Is it the
Wasn't Iron
25th
Fist.
hour or the
It wasn't
24th
Iron Fist,
hour?
It wasn't
Forget.
Punisher. It wasn't Jessica Jones. It's either Daredevil or Luke Cage. I can't
It's
remember.
saying she was in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
That's Ahsoka
That-
Tano.
yeah, that
We're
would-
talking about.
Daredevil.
There you go.
There you
Daredevil.
go.
She's Daredevil. I knew it.
You know your Marvel.
So,
Or is that DC? Is that Marvel?
no, it's Marvel.
Marvel. Okay.
Daredevil's Marvel.
Cool. I get confused sometimes.
I don't blame you. There's so many goddamn superheroes out there. It's like, can we have any of
Hey,
them?
I'm sitting next one right here.
Thanks, pal. That's really nice. of you.
So this new Disney Plus show, she's the main character.
Yeah, she was trained by Anakin Skywalker, who becomes Darth Vader.
Oh,
But she was training with him before he becomes Darth Vader. She leaves, and then he ultimately becomes Darth Vader because of Obi-Wan. Well, not really because of Obi-Wan. He got Jedi mind tricked
Right.
by what was it, Palpatine, or whoever the Emperor was.
Right.
I forget what his
Yeah,
name was. I think
Palpatine.
it was Palpatine, right? Anyway, so yeah, that happened, and then she winds up showing up in a couple of live action shows, which is Obi-Wan and I think The Mandalorian. I could be wrong about Obi-Wan, but I'm pretty sure it's Mandalorian for sure that she was in. And now she has her own show, but it's cool because it gives you a little character building on these people, and like some of these people weren't in the actual Star Wars movies ever; they were in cartoons. Like she was in the cartoon, which wound up becoming canon, and then they made a live show of her. You know, unlike Obi-Wan, which is in pretty much almost all the movies, or all the old movies, and then he has his own show too. But yeah, it's just something cool to watch. It'll probably only be like 6 or 7 episodes. Nothing crazy. You'll finish it in a couple days. Nothing crazy. They come out once a week though, so you gotta wait. Unless you really like Star Wars and you want to watch it week to week,
right.
which I probably will. There's only a couple shows.
So that's the exception for your rule.
Yeah, like
get
Star
it.
Wars and Marvel TV shows, I'm gonna watch week to week
Right.
because I can't afford not to watch it. And people talk about it, I'm gonna be upset about it.
Yeah, the spoiler
Yeah,
aspect.
And the spoilers are everywhere, especially with Marvel. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
It's saying that it set a new record for the longest runtime in the debut of an episode of a Star Wars show. Previous held by Kenobi with a runtime of 52 minutes. This is going to be 54 minutes.
Oh, nice.
Ooh,
But you know they trick you because
2
I
minutes
don't know
more.
if they do the same thing as the Marvel TV shows. It'll come out and it'll be like, let's just say 50 minutes, but 10 of those minutes are credits. And I'm like,
Well, I would
what?
I would think that if they say runtime,
Yeah,
that
runtime, it's
means-
beginning to end, right?
right of the show,
Yeah.
right? Not
No, it's not credits included.
Oh, it is.
100%.
Oh.
100%. Because then, what the easiest way to judge that is if you go on when I think it's the 23rd. For some reason, I want to say that the first episode comes out. So if you're saying it's 54 minutes, if it comes out as 54 minutes and the credits are included, if you wind up seeing like an hour and 1 minute or 2 minutes, then you know the actual runtime is 54 minutes of the show, and then the credits are tacked on afterward. But I can almost guarantee you that's including the credits. You know, because that's what they did with the Marvel shows, and I'm pretty sure they do it with the Star Wars shows too. Like it's all Disney, so they're doing the same crap with every show. But I guess before we wrap this up, anyone else got anything besides you, Wanda? I know you're gonna throw out a couple songs for us before we wrap this up.
Sure.
So,
yeah. That any.
Do we have any shows
anything
that we want
else
to talk
besides
about before
that?
No. Nope. We're good. All right.
All right. I'll fire the. We got 3 picks again
Rapid fire.
for this week. We're gonna go with "The Cold Vein" by Cannibal Ox. Second, we're gonna go with any Run the Jewels album because a picture from the first tour from Webster Hall, I believe was the venue, came up in my Facebook memories. And third one, we're going to go with The Science by Main Source. Bonus pick here. This is a podcast called The Humanity Archive, or Archive, I guess would be a better way of saying that, with Jermaine Fowler. So those are your picks for this week.
All right. Well, so that's going to do it for this episode. We're going to be on next week again. And in 2 weeks, we might not have a show here. I don't know what we're going to do yet. We're going to discuss it amongst ourselves and then go from there. We're going to be on with Ashley with her show. I think it's Long Beach 101. So we're going to be out in Long Beach doing her show.
On location.
On location in Long Beach. So you might not see us 2 weeks from now. We're going to figure it out and see how we're going to figure all this stuff out and see if we could get her show onto our YouTube channel and whatever. Or if we can't, we might do a double episode where we come here first and then from there we go out there and you'll get a little like a double feature of the Kings of Opinion on 1 week. So
right on.
That being said, everyone have a great week. We'll see you next week. Hopefully New York sports won't suck this week, but no guarantees.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button.
There you go. Subscribe to everything, Instagram, YouTube, whatever else we're going to have. Who knows? I don't know. Our man Ernie is going to be doing some stuff behind the scenes in the next week, so we're excited to see about some of that stuff. So check everything out. Wonder any last words of wisdom?
Just thanks for your time, fam.
All right, that's it. We're going to wrap it up. Have a great week.